Boys, Pokemon Presents Day is almost here. We have Mega Pokemon coming back. I started YouTube literally with Mega Pokemon. I'm really excited about this. The X and Y boys, we're here, man. We're on our comeback revival arc. I've been wanting Megas for a long time. They're back. And I want to do a giant Mega Wishlist video. If you're excited, leave a like, subscribe. I'd love to see your favorite all-time Mega requested down in the comments. The last time I asked for Houndoom and Gyarados as my top 2. And well, that was like months before the game came out, and we actually got them. I've been on the community probably longer than most. I feel like my opinion is pretty warranted when it comes to this. I'm excited. Let's jump in. Let's get the elephant out the room. We'll get Flygon and Milotic out of here. These have been the 2 highest requested Megas since the Oras days. Oras has turned well over 10 years now, past November. I think it's time, Game Freak. I think it's time. We don't got to be on these too much often, man. People have been asking for Flygon Mega for a long time, dude. Flygon is really bad. Like, really bad. And Milotic has been really power crept. With Generation 9 and Terra, these guys are sus. So, Water Fairy, Milotic, and whatever with Flygon. Honestly, not these stats. Like this, like Trapinch, if you did not know, has the exact same attack stat as a Flygon. So, not these stats, Flygon, not these stats. I'm gonna try to do this in generation orders. Gen 1, I do want Dragonite, I do. Dragonite's been that guy who I feel like we've been asking for stuff almost every generation when there's a new gimmick or like theme, and he never gets it. If you did not know, typically Mega Pokemon go based on like what's popular, or typically, there are some oddballs, but typically, right? Like they give it to like really big legendaries, like Rayquaza, Mewtwo, right? Charizard got 2, Mewtwo got 2, right? Like the popular mons, right? Metagross and Ments both got it. Double pseudos. Pseudos where I'm going at. Almost every pseudo or a lot of pseudos have these. Obviously, we got a lot more pseudos since then. Dragonite was the one pseudo we did not see get it. And even in Gen 7, when we got Alola, people wanted like, there was like a pink fairy, pure fairy Dragonite. That didn't happen either. I feel like Dragonite time is now. No G-Max, no Alolan form, no regional form, no Mega. Dragonite's 0-3. Now, here's the thing. Dragonite with a Mega would be insane, but you have to guys understand. They made 2 Mega Mewtwo's, Mega Gengar, Mega Kangaskhan, and Mega Rayquaza. If you're looking at this mon can't get a Mega because of being too broken, that doesn't apply. That does not apply. So I think Mega Dragonite would be absolutely insane. I feel like every new gimmick, Dynamax, Z-moves, and Terra, he's been phenomenal and a great abuser in. They can even keep the typing with the ability. Multiscale's great, right? We all love multiscale. But if they do Dragon Fairy, that'd be cool too. Also, Golduck. I know not a lot of us given to Golduck. I love me some Golduck, man. I feel like it's kind of forgotten. He got buffed in Gen 9. They gave him Nasty Plot, right? They gave him Power Gem, right? Because he's got a giant, like, little crystal gem right in his forehead. This is a big requested one. I would love this one greatly. I love me some Mega Golduck. Golduck is a cool guy. And I feel like he's kind of forgotten. He was like the heartthrob guy that everybody was like weirdly gooning over in the anime, which is odd, but that's besides the point. Gen 1, there was my entire Gen 1 list though, Dragonite and Golduck. Gen 1 gets a lot, so I'm kind of fine giving it 2. Ledion I do want as what probably my highest requested mon from Gen 2. Ledion is not a real mon, sadly. If you're also like me and you love this mon, probably one of, if not my all-time favorite bug type ever. It's got the cool Astro Boy themes to it. Really dope design. I remember seeing this thing in Crystal and I was lit as hell. Come to find out it's awful. Yes, it is 110 special events. 110. Will that mean he lives ancient powers? It depends who's from. Ludotone still diffs. I don't know what they're doing. Physical attack with Iron Fist. 35 attack. 35. What? It's like horrid what this mon is. It's actually so bad. So if they can buff it, make it like Mach 5 double level fast, like some like metal version, like a steel version, like it's like actually Astro Boy, that'd be clean. That'd be clean. That'd be clean. Ariados is one of my next big picks from Gen 2. I know a lot of bugs. Gen 2 brought a lot of weak mons, and I feel as though they can either need an evolution, original form, or a Mega. Let's give it a Mega. They gave guys like Beedrill, like Megas, right? Like the early Route 1 bugs, the early ones. While yes, Beedrill's probably one of the most iconic early Route 1 mons. Ariados, I feel like he's kind of forgotten, right? He's a webs machine, that's it. So I would love Ariados to get some sort of love. This potential, he used to actually be pretty cool in Gen 2 with like Physical Sludge Bomb, but the split is one of the things that did hurt Ariados. The split hurt him bad. Sludge Bomb's no longer Fizz, so Ariados kind of fell off. He has Poison Jab, but it's not, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like it's just not the same. It's different times. It's different times. But I would love something for Aridos. I'm probably one of the biggest Aridos glazers. I love him. Kingdra as well too, man. Kingdra is very cool. Used to be one of the premier rain sweepers back in the day, and kind of nowadays, not so much. Gen 9 and Gen 8 power creep has actually been disgusting. Just because like now it's like, okay, like this mon, if like you look at these stats and you're not wowed, right? Like what do you do in Iron Hands? You know what I mean? Like it's just like, you're just not him anymore. You're not. And it takes a lot of setup. Right? Like sniper, focus energy with scope lens, or you have to like dragon dance even in the rain with swift swim. It's a lot. It's like, it takes a lot of setup just to get going. And even then he doesn't get like anything rewarding. His typing is actually phenomenal. And I think the moves he gets are great. I think he just needs better stats, and a Mega could easily fix that. I think so. All right, boys. 10 years ago, my first Mega that I actually chose in that list where I was correct about Houndoom and Gyarados, Zangoose. Zangoose and his buddy Seviper. They're a pair. Though I will tell you, they always don't do pairs. We did Glalie, and they Glalie did, Frostlass did not get a Mega. It was only Glalie. So just because one gets a Mega doesn't mean the other one should also get a Mega. I actually pay very close attention to like the weird, intricate patterns that they do. So if there were to be one, I would definitely choose Zangoose. Seviper is really bad. I mean, Zangoose is too, but Zangoose is like weirdly also like not totally like fodder. And it's because he has a real attack stat, right? Like his speed's like moderately okay, but he's a real like starting to get someplace attack stat. And that with Toxic Boost can be an insane wall breaker with like Facade, Knockoff, and CC. So this guy's insane. And he's actually gotten a lot better with Terra. I love using him to stomp out like even high ladder. The problem is that he's really frail. And honestly, this is not cutting it anymore. We're to the point now where if you don't have over 100 base speed, you're not considered slow. It's, at least depending on what it is. Like a frailer glass cannon, yes. Now, if somebody like Bax, who's really bulky with 87 speed, it's kind of fast. But with this, you know what I mean? I just think he's really one step away. Keep Toxic Boost. He's one step away from just getting like faster, like min-max stats. Something like a Sneasler, you know what I mean? Like, it's a good example, but like higher, right? Because, you know, it's going to get 100 BST. That's how they usually give it. But, you know, something like that, and we'd be eating. Seviper, if they were to do it, let's just make a move. This guy's great setup, great tools, great move coverage. The problem is that he's frail and can't move. So that's why he's a low tier demon, because, you know, low tier mixed attacking is very strong, very strong. In Gen 4, I only chose one mon in Gen 4, and it was Drapion. Gen 4, I feel like got like really iconic megas, and we did just also get regional, I guess like not regional, but like we technically, because like with the Hisuis, but they're also like not. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? They're Sinnoh, Isk, they're Hisui. You know what I mean? And then we also got the origin forms of Dialga and Palkia. I'm like, Gen 4 got a lot, so I'm fine just picking one. And I know everyone's gonna say, wow, no Frostlass. I'm cool with no Frostlass. I want Drapion. Drapion has a lot of potential. I actually think this typing is really, really good. Because he's only weak to ground. I know people always talk about like Bug Steel only being weak to fire. But Dark Poison, kind of like a forgotten typing. Not many mons have it. Like at all. It's a really rare combination. And the really cool thing is that it's only weak to one thing and it has an immunity. So it has decent resist and like goes dark, right? Grass. I think it's got some solid resist. Sadly, it is neutral to fairy and fighting. So the dark is kind of holding back the poison, but dark is a really good typing. Poison, not so much. I feel like these stats are okay. Right? They're power creep stats. Right? Like back in like Gen 4 days, you're like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like, especially the acupressure build is nuts, but I just feel like if they can just increase like speed, increase power, because you're sitting down and thinking, oh wow, Dream Team. That's kind of, like, they overbuffed Megas. That's kind of the point. They do 100 BSD, so he'd get 600 backs, and he'd be really, really strong. He's already kind of like naturally tanky, because he resists some really cool things like Ghost and Dark, right? And then also like, he has a really good defense stat of 110. So he's a bit frail on the special side. HP's kind of low, but you know, we work out with it. HP's like, okay, we work out with it. He's close on being God tier, and I feel like a Mega would bring Drapion back. I'm gonna try to burn these through kind of quick because I am a yapper and I have a lot on this list. Zork is one of my first picks of Gen 5. I feel like if Lucario got it and he's the face of Gen 4, Zork being kind of like that same mon that they use to like market and popularize for the generation, like early on, kind of like Lucario. Zork is kind of like the next attempt of a Lucario, right? It's extremely obvious. I know he did just get a regional form, but Zorak is really popular. If I'm not mistaken, last I checked, he was the most popular. There's a small poll that Chandelure was the most popular, but it was a small pool of people that voted. So I feel like Zorak, to nobody's surprise, is a really popular mon, if not the most popular from Gen 5. So I feel like this getting a mega is important. Plus, Gen 5 only got 1 mega. And at least you guys got a mega. Us Gen 7 guys got nothing, right? But at least Gen 5 only has 1 mega. And I feel as though they want to pick like big guys coming back, because Gen 5 has a lot of big hitters. It does. And I think now as well, too, more people like Gen 5. Yeah, believe it or not, guys, when X and Y came out, Gen 5 was not loved. It was not. I was there. Even when it first came out, it was not loved. And now there's been a switch the last 10 years. People love Gen 5 now. They grew up. They switched up. I love it, though. It's a good switch up. So Zorak, I think, is actually solid. When the games first came out, he was like, okay. The ability to heavily carry, but he was okay. It sucks that he came out in like a fighting meta and then Gen 6 dropped fairies. So it's been tough for Zorak. He's got a really good special attack stat, solid speed. I feel as though that this is savable. You just increase what's already good, right? We don't need bulk. You just increase whatever is good, min-max it, and we're kind of balling. You know, they could keep Illusion. It's its gimmick. They probably will keep it. It's too, like too much of its gimmick. Scissor's gimmick was too much Technician and they kept it, right? So it makes sense. I think they would keep it. But yeah, Zorak, I think, is a phenomenal pick for Gen 5. Here's a hot take. Caracosta. I know. Listen, Caracosta has no love. He has 5 TCG cards that exist. 5, number 1. Number 2, hardly any media. Like a small, short anime episode. I had a viral tweet the other day about Caracosta, and that may have been, I think, the largest tweet ever in the entire world of Caracosta. It had like 500,000 views. It was insane, right? And everybody in the replies was like, yo, I forgot this mod existed. Well, fossils can get megas. Aerodactyl's gotten a mega, which means that the fossils can get megas. I know Archeops is like, okay, everyone wants this. Archeops at least has a gimmick. He's a niche of like turn off his ability. He goes crazy. Yeah, Caracosta has nothing. Why is the mon with Swift Swim, who's meant to shell smash, 32 base speed? Most weather sweepers float around like 50 to 70. This is like, brother, what? Like, what? Like that, it's just bad. It's just really bad. It's really bad. And he's weak to everything, as you can see. I know he's got solid rock. I know he really needs it, but he's weak to like damn near everything. And then he's neutral to the really risky things too. So just being weak to fighting and ground is just awful. It's awful. So, yeah, my boy Caracosta. Shout out Costa for the manga readers. He needs some love. Obviously, of course, Hydreigon. Like I said, they do pseudos very often. I did want Darmanitan, but Darmanitan did just get a regional that's also very broken. Like, it's literally better than the original one. And they both have Zen modes. So I feel as though Darmanitan has a lot. Hydreigon. I feel as though this guy really needs it. I know it's crazy to say. Hydreigon's felt the power creep. He's seen better days. He kept up very well when Fairies came out and did solid even in fighting meta in Gen 5. But you know, it's tough days. Being quad weak to Fairy, especially with Terra, and everyone goes Fairy, it's really difficult. So I think Hydreigon could benefit from that. He's also a pseudo-legendary, so they're really likely to get them. I mean, powerhouse evolutions, right? Mega evolutions, it's 2 and 2. It makes 4, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully they keep Levitate, but realistically, I can see it being gone for like Mega Launcher or something, because he has like 3 heads. You know what I mean? You know, I literally could see it, but I actually could see him getting another ability, though I would not mind Levitate. Levitate's great. It's a solid ability. Levitate's great. All right, Crook is another Gen 5 mon. I know I'm doing a lot of Gen 5 mons. Crook is another Gen 5 mon. The literal GOAT. I feel as though his Crocodile needs some love. Like I said, again, upon like the first like gen he came out, and even Gen 6 and 7, he was incredible. And then Gen 8 gave everybody close combat. And it's been rough for him and like T-Tar, like a bunch of other guys, so... I mean, just being weak to fighting in water is tough. It's tough, right? It's tough. Pretty common Terra typings as well, too. It's tough. It's better days. It's tough. And all of his abilities are really cool outside of Anger Point. Hopefully they take one of these two or give him something new. But Crook, I feel as though, is also, not, I don't want to say popular, but like, he's definitely popular for sure, but iconic. You know, like it's Ash's like ace mon. I know the Gen 5 anime did awful. It was super hated, and it was easily the weakest out of all the animes, right? But if you watched it like myself, it was like the Charizard for his team. You know what I mean? Like, it was like his like most reliable ace that obviously isn't the Pika, Like, it was his strongest mod, to be fair. I can get into that another day. I mean, he just didn't want to, you know, everything else, just, you know. But this mod is strong. I feel like he's well-loved. People like crocodiles. It stands. He looks cool as hell. His shiny looks absolutely sick, right? Like, I think it's really cool, right? It looks really sick. I don't know. I just think Crook is really cool. Let me look at him. Yeah! I think he deserves a mega. Every time I see something for him, like even this, it just looks so clean. Like he's one of the coolest design mons like ever made. I love Crook. I think the typing is absolutely incredibly strong, right? I think Crook is mega time. I think it's mega time. And certainly last but not least, Keldeo. I know Mythicals can get megas. Nancy got one. Mythicals can get megas. I think Keldeo is my pick though for it, at least from Gen 5. I'm a big Keldeo guy. If you don't know me, I'm a big Keldeo guy. I also feel as though as the other ones kind of like they just got their forms with paradoxes and Keldeo didn't get anything, and I was like all of 5 guys upset. So I was like, Keldeo, if you remember, out of all of them, was the strongest one. He's like the protege that they're all training, because they, you know, if you watch the movies, and Keldeo is literally dunking on all of them. He is literally the strongest one competitively. So it's like topping is great offensively. Keldeo's got great stats. I think if you get this guy a mega, I think we're going to the moon. Ubers, I think we're going to the moon. What is Rapid Strike, huh? This would dunk on Rapid Strike. Well, Rapid Strike you can't protect through, so maybe not. But they also give him a form that doesn't really do anything. Like, you got like Sacred Sword, but like it does look cooler than the original. But you know, I think Keldeo would love to get one, and I love it. On a Gen 6, boys, I think Go-Goat should get it. Weird fun fact about Go-Goat. He helped people for 5,000 years ago. He's helping people literally for 5,000 years, dude. Speeds existed people with their work since 5,000 years ago. My man has literally been like the GOAT for 5K years. I think that earns a mega. I think a lot of people also remember that he existed because Gita had one. And if you remember in X and Y, you can like get on their backs and ride around on like a Skittle or a Go-Goat. Just to me, when I think of Kalos, a really iconic mon from Kalos, a really iconic mon. So let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. Clawitzer, another big guy. He's really bad. I know Go-Goat is at least a little better, but he's really bad. A lot of X and Y mons weren't that good. Probably competitively one of the weakest dexes because the megas carry. Like, if we're not including the megas, it's probably the weakest dex. You know what I mean? Like, the megas carry. And I'm only talking competitively, right? Like, the megas carry bad. And this guy has one real stat, and everything else is fraudulent. Like, you know? And he's also one of the only guys that gets Mega Launcher. The only other guy that does is Mega freaking Blastoise. A Mega. I feel as though he's earned the right of getting a Mega because he has an ability owned by a Mega. They've never done this to anything else. Like, no other Parental Bond users, right? Like, I know other Megas just get abilities everyone else already had, but like, a new Mega ability, and only one guy has it. Nobody else has Parental Bond. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's crazy. Like, give him a Mega. He got that shooter. Slurpuff, I think, deserves a mega. One of the first ones I also think of when it comes to Kalos. I try not to like think of the megas because even though they're with the iconic part, the most iconic part of the generation. I used Slurpuff on my launch team when this game first came out. I love Slurpuff. Also, a phenomenal shiny, right? And he's inconsistently around. We had him on launch, and he was in Gen 7. Not really like, I guess, rememberable. He was in Gen 8, and then Gen 9 we haven't had him. So it's been like 5 years since we've seen Slurpuff. He's coming back. I think Slurpuff, I think it's time to get something. And look at these stats. He's meant to be a sweeper, right? With Unburden. And he could be like a mixed sweeper. He can Calm Mind, Citrus, Unburden, right? He could like Belly Drum, Citrus, Unburden, be physical. It's just these stats are really underwhelming. I mean, 480 is underwhelming, man. Pure Fairy's solid, but it's really underwhelming. So, I don't know. Maybe they make an ability like Galvanize, but it's fire, right? Like, anytime he's like out the oven hot because, you know, he's like a freaking cupcake or whatever he is, right? So, then he has like his normal moves turn to fire moves. And he can touch steel types. They're pretty cool. Regardless, I like him. Look at his derpy little face. Come on, you guys love Slurpuff? Yes, we do. Come on. Heliolisk is also a big one that I want to see get a mega. Probably one of my all-time favorite Kalos mons, like bar megas. Absolutely incredible. Draskin solid, Sandvale solid, and Solar Power is solid. I just don't really like Solar Power because like if you're not like a really good Solar Power abuser, it's just kind of pointless. You know what I mean? He's got Fluttermane stat pool where the only bottom 3 is real and the top 3 are not. So yeah, guys. Take that, Fluttermane fans. He was Fluttermane before Fluttermane came out. Just a lot weaker, right? He's got solid stats. Solid stats. I've drafted him. I've used him many times. I've hit rank with him many times. He's got solid stats. I love this design. He's like a little dino lizard dude. And his shiny is like weird. It's like it took the power of the sun. I mean, probably lizard heads watching probably know why his shiny's like this. Maybe like absorbing the power of the sun. It turned his skin like that. Probably whatever lizard he's based off of. I just think they could make him electric fire. I'm dead ass. Make him electric fire, call it a day. They changed typings. Altari got fairy. You know what I mean? Make it electric fire. Buff the stats with 100. Call it a day. I actually think he'd be a very strong mon then at that point, right? Even like 115, 120 speed. He'd be great. And my mythical for Kalos, I'm going to say Volcanion. Volcanion is the only guy that got nothing. Hoopa has Unbound. Diancie has a Mega, right? So Hoopa got a form. Diancie got a Mega. I was kind of coping and hoping that like Volcanion would get like a G-Max or something. I know Melmetal was a mythical pick. But wow, dude, Volcanion is extremely forgotten. Okay, let me tell you my lore of Volcanion. Watch the movie. I own a Steam Siege booster box, though I bought it for like $90, right? I own a Steam Siege booster box. I just for Volcanion, right? I have like so many Volcanion cards. I am that Volcanion guy. One of my most viral videos ever is when I was like 17 years old and I got Volcanion early or something like that. I was like 17, 18. I got Volcanion early from a buddy of mine. And I used it in a Wi-Fi battle. I love Volcanion. One of the most fun mons to use aggressively. And I feel like it's been a requested typing for years, Fire Water, right? And his stats are great. He's very strong. He's always been like a top tier OU pick, like really good in the meta. But in this generation, he's RU. In this gen, he's RU. It was a tongue twister. He's RU. Volcanion, let's get some love, my guy. He's got some really cool lore. Streets are saying that's why like Kalos, Southern Kalos is like cooked. If you do the Volcanion event in Oras, it's like cooked. So maybe we get more Volcanion lore, something, even like a different form, you know? We're about to get more Volcanion lore, please. I love Volcanion. Game Freak, please. Where's all 5 Volcanion fans? Where are we at, boys? Where are we at? On to Gen 7 Mudsdale's, one of my all-time favorite Gen 7 mons, and he low-key has pseudo stats. Swear to God, like, these 3 stats with a actual solid SPDF, because 100 base HP with 85 SPDF is, like, not bad, right? Like, it's not bad, right? I'm not saying you'll live like a Specs Hydro Pump, but it's not bad. It's a start. I actually think they could just add on to every stat here. They could even make them slower. It doesn't matter. Add on to every stat here, and I think it'd be great. Maybe give him another typing. Maybe. Keep stamina. Let's keep stamina. Maybe give another typing. But I love Mudsdale. I think he's really cool and really iconic when it comes to Gen 7. Like, I feel like he's kind of like a figurehead of Gen 7. Like, maybe it's just me. When I think of Alola, he's one of the first Emons that comes to mind. And look at Mudspray. He's a cute little guy. I don't know. He's got great moves, great coverage, a phenomenal, like, play style. Body press has only made him better. I love Mudsdale. Let's get a Mega. Beware, I also think, is super popular. Super popular when it comes from Alola. I think Beware is a no-brainer on getting a Mega. I also think as well, too, just a really underwhelming mon. It's normal fighting, right? It's only immune to Ghost. It's weak to Fairy. It's weak to fighting, right? It's weak to Fire because if you have Fluffy, it's like, dude, like, I don't know, man. It's just really slow. It's kind of frail on the special side. Like, I don't know, man. It's got a lot of HP, though. Like, I think it's, like, a bit away from, like, getting really strong, right? Like, they could just make it, like, more SPDF. Maybe, like, 80, 85 speed, like, Dogi stats. More SPDF. And you know what I mean? More FizzDef. Obviously, they're going to give it, like, 150 attack. He's really close on being really, really godlike. So, I would like a Beware Mega for sure. He's really cute. Look, he wants uppies, just like me. Up. I'm sorry. But Beware, I love him. I think he deserves it. Mimikyu, I think, is kind of like the one that's probably going to get a Mega. Like, guaranteed. It is, if you did not know, because I do keep, like I said, I keep up with this. Mimikyu is the most popular mon from the entirety of the Alola region. Yes. It's like Mimikyu, Rowlet, and Incineroar, but Mimikyu is like and I mean, it makes sense, right? It's a cute, like emo-looking Pikachu. Like, people love that. People love that. It just made sense. So it's like a for normies, it's like a Gengar meets Pikachu. You know what I mean? Because Ghost Pikachu, they love it. So Mimikyu, I feel like is a no-brainer. Was by far the most popular mon. from Alola. I mean, even my Mimikyu video on the launch playthrough is like, I think one of the most viewed videos out of all of them because of the Acerola Mimikyu moment. So people love Mimikyu, man. Let's get it happening. I feel like it's a no-brainer. Mimikyu's also like weird because his stats are like okay. He obviously got Power Crept. I think it's just he doesn't get Poltergeist. I think if he got Poltergeist and moved faster, he'd be better. Disguise is great. They probably keep Disguise. This typing combination is absolutely broken. 1, 2, 3 immunities, 2 of them being absolutely godlike, right? Dragon and Fighting. Mimikyu, like, he's insane. He's actually 1 mega away from being like actually him. And last but certainly not least from Alola, Komo-o, the pseudo. I listen, Komo-o is for me like a top 3 pseudo. We're all my 5 Komo-o fans. I love Komo-o. I feel like also he's like probably the most forgotten pseudo. Goodra got a regional form. Goodra was at least on Ash's team, right? And it got a regional form. I feel like Komo-o, like, you know, like he's like a raid boss in the games. It's about it. Otherwise, like, not really memorable. People don't like it. They thought the design was too weird. Like, I remember all the launch talking points. They just were not rocking with it at all. I think Komo-o is like phenomenal. He's one of the most unique pseudos because pseudos, you kind of know how they play. This guy can be defensive, mixed, offensive, a sweeper, a tank, like hazard 3 attacks. You know what I mean? Like, he can do it all. He can do it all. And that's why I love him. That's why I love him. Also, a very aggressive typing in Dragon Fighting with 3 great abilities. Overcoat, maybe not so much, but abilities are great. So I think if they just further it, like I say, 100, 700, it would be insane. It'd be insane. I think he would go to the moon. Now, I only chose 1 Mon from Gen 8. I only chose 1 Mon from Gen 8 because I am manifesting that there is no Urshifu and is no Dragapult Mega. I'm really hoping that there's not. But I feel like Zarude is a great pick for the mythical. I think Zarude is also kind of like forgotten, right? You don't really see much competitive play with him, at least on a double side. Us singles players, he's kind of running amok right now. He's very strong with Terra because his typing sucks, but with Terra, he's great. His ability is also awful. You can't paralyze him in Sun, okay? Like, okay, but like, or burn him, but like, okay. I think there's like some promise here, right? You know, his stats are solid. He's actually like a very tanky Mon. He won't die the things, right? And look at all these resistances. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 resistances and an immunity, right? It's just his typing. The bad part is you're kind of weak to things that are common, right? Like quad weak to bugs sucks, right? Like it's just not fun, right? Ice, fighting, fairy, fire, like it's just not great. But I feel as though as I give him like a real ability, we could get started. We could get started, right? We could get started, right? I think it'd be awesome. Zarude, baby. I love Zarude. I love the movie. Let's get happening. Now, Gen 9. Gen 9, I'm really thinking that Cerulege gets in. I think Cerulege is really obvious. He's kind of the it boy right now of Gen 9. He's like, I think the 3rd most popular Mon within the entirety of Gen 9. It's like, Tickaton still stonks, but she got Power Crept. Now, Meowscarada is the most popular Mon of Gen 9. So, Meowscarada, I could also see getting a Mega. Starters are very common. They get their Megas in terms of popularity, but I could see it. But I want to do like my own wish list, and I'm picking Cerulege. I think Cerulege is very realistic, while Cerulege is also one of my all-time favorite Mons now, and probably my favorite Mon out of Gen 9. This is raw. I mean, he's raw. This is one of the most coolest designs we've ever seen. Everybody lost their minds when he was first shown off, dude. And we thought he was all like, oh no, he's gonna suck because of 85 base speed, but weak armor. So there's like a niche with it, right? So you just Terra SD and then weak armor. It's crazy, right? So he's like very like, his identity is like with Terra. It's great, right? I'm big on Cerulege. I think he would absolutely be insane with it. I think he could definitely benefit from it because some of his defenses are just kind of average and his HP's like a little bit below average. So I'm here for it. Excalibur! I know. What am I thinking, right? What am I thinking? I already know this one to be broken as hell. They would keep thermal change. I already know this one to be broken as hell. But let's do it. Excalibur, a generational run on pseudos right now. At least in singles, many say this is the best pseudo we've ever gotten. But in doubles, Pult is still doing it. But wow, dude. Komo-o. Excalibur, I think, is absolutely insane. Very controversial on launch if he was good or not. absolutely broken. Glaive Rush is a free move. It's stupid how good that move is. I think if this guy did get a mega, ban City. Ban City, bro. Absolutely. Because the moment he starts moving faster than this, well, I don't know. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. So this will be insane though, but I think it'd be fun. Also, I think mainly design-wise, I think the design could help with this because this design doesn't look good. It feels very unfinished, and I think the mega would finish it. You know, I'm thinking so. So yeah, that's my wish list, guys. Those are all my mons. I know there's gonna be someone people disagree with. I got some oddball hot takes in this. Let me know what you think. It was a long video. I wanted to just yap for a long time. My ultimate mega wish list. I'll be doing these every day for a countdown, and we'll look back and see if I'm right or wrong. Leave a like, subscribe. Let me know who you want to see for megas come this next Thursday. And with that out the way, later.